All right. Welcome to the Cornbread and Kool-Aid podcast. Uh, my name is Demetrius. Appreciate you joining. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And if you do, I would love your help finding a way to rate it, review it, tell people about it, like it. Uh, Facebook and YouTube, you can go to Twitter account at Cornbread Pod. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you don't like. Let me know what you like. I take it all. Take it all. Um, Shout out to the super producer extraordinaire, Mr. Mike Ward, as always. Um, uh, we are in week 11 of the 2021 National Football League season. And so, like in life, and okay, so it was 13-10 was the final in Cleveland, Browns over Lions. If you're listening, you probably watched it. If you're listening and you didn't watch it, it's okay. I probably already sound exasperated, and I don't mean to. It's this thing, though, like in life and in sports or whatever, there's this, I think the word is resignation. It's that moment when you just recognize that something is the way it is and it's not going to change. You know, it happens in jobs. You're at a job and you decide, I got to quit this job. I need a different job. You have that moment where you recognize, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And sometimes it's emotion, it's in frustration, but sometimes it's this real recognition where you just recognize, I can't do this anymore, right? It happens, like I said, it happens with jobs. It happens in relationships. It's very tough, that moment that people deal with. You hope and you try and you work really hard and you just realize, I can't do this anymore, right? And it absolutely happens being a fan of a team, of this team. And it could be about a player. There could be a player you like, and then there's just comes a day where you decide this guy's not going to get it done. I'm done with him. My friend Chris is a Packer fan. He has a saying, that guy's dead to me. Right? Guy leaves Chris's team. That's it. He no longer exists. Right? That's kind of harsh. Um, uh, I'm at that place, and it's tough. I'm at that place with Dan Campbell. I'm shocked that and I think I'm at that place, but I'm approaching this moment where it's 10 games, right? And I know what I've said, right? I know how I feel about this season and this process, and I'm surprised. I thought I'd be good no matter what happened this year. I thought I'd be fine. I never thought I'd get to this place of just like, I can't do this anymore. And like I said, you work hard, you try, and people know what I'm feeling. It's not as serious as like a relationship or a job or something, but it's similar in that moment where you're like, I just have to accept what this is. And this is not about 16-1. I don't know what's going to happen. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this season had a lot of evaluation to it, right? I can't ignore that they're talent deficient. And so it's tough to evaluate. It's tougher for me to evaluate Goff. I struggle. He has no weapons. Campbell, I really felt like I was going to say, hey, it doesn't matter what happens. Campbell's got a 6-year deal. He's not, and this is not me saying fire Dan Campbell. That's not what's happening right now. Although my friend Art said that, and I didn't disagree with him. That's not what I'm saying. Because you have to remember how talent deficient they were before all the injuries. And then you have to go down the list of guys they've lost. You have to talk about Romeo. You have to talk about Okudah and Melifonwu. You have to talk about Decker was out. Goff didn't play today. No matter what you think of Tim Boyle or what you think of Jared Goff, I believe Goff's better than Boyle. And that's interesting that I'm even having that conversation. The problem is, again, I acknowledge it might not be fair to evaluate anybody, Goff or Campbell. The problem is Campbell's doing something that's really disturbing me, right? And I'm at the risk of offending my cousin Chuck, who I'm about to be repetitive and go over something that I hammered home last week. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. No, I might revisit it a few times. Dan Campbell is disturbing me right now, right? He should not be calling plays. I'll keep it. He should not be calling plays. I don't know what you guys saw, or I don't know what he sees. That he sits down, he looks at the film, and he says to himself, I did a good job calling plays today. Because I do that. In my job, I have to look back at how I handled a project, how I handled something that I've worked on. And just, even if it's just me and me, did I do my best job? did I do a really good? Could somebody else do that job better? And when it's not your job and you have somebody on staff to do that job and you decide we're 0-8, I'm going to do it. Again, I'm not gonna just totally alienate Chuck and go over all that again. I'm really disturbed with Dan Campbell calling plays. Something in his mind convinced him that at 0-8, the issue was play calling. The issue was the job Anthony Lynn was doing. And I like Anthony Lynn a lot. That was clear probably last week, and I'll reiterate it. I think it was a coup for them to get him as the OC. I think he had demonstrated history both as an OC and a head coach in San Diego/LA of doing that well. After 8 games with the talent issues and the injuries for Dan Campbell to, in my opinion, scapegoat him was unfair. And it said something about Dan Campbell as a leader that disturbs me. Whatever that thing was that stood on his shoulder and said, yeah, it's Anthony Lynn's fault. It's the play calling. You could call plays better. That thing lied to him. That thing was wrong. And it's impacting his ability as a head coach because he's doing his head coaching job poorly. So I have, fairly or unfairly, formed an opinion about Dan Campbell as a coach and leader already. I'm granting up front, it may not be fair. But I'm at that point. Like I said, that point, whether it's a job or a relationship where you have to go, okay, this is what it is. And I don't know. Now, it's simple. Give the play calling duties back to Anthony Lynn, do a better job as a head coach, and we're fine. We can reconcile. This relationship doesn't have to be over, but it's going to take you, Dan Campbell, looking at like what you've done the last 2 weeks. Because my true feelings is he's cost him 3 games, possibly 4. He is literally himself coaching. Now, and I'm not ignoring defensive backs busting coverage. I'm not ignoring all the stuff that the players do. We're going to talk about self-destruction in a minute. I'm saying I personally think he cost them Baltimore. I think he cost them last week, and I think he cost them today. They had 79 yards in the first half of offense, in the first half of an NFL game. They had less than 200 yards passing for an entire game. I've seen Mahomes, Rodgers types guys do that in a quarter. It's play calling. And he wants to be, we're just tough. We're just going to run it down your throat. And DeAndre Swift is phenomenal. You can't be one-sided like that. So I need to not only see the development of players, I need to see the development of our coach. And he's got a crossroad moment right now where he can sit down, be a leader, and say, I made a decision 2 weeks ago. It was not in the best interest of the team. I did not, through my play calling, make us better. I did not put us in a better position to win either of those games, the loss and the tie, lost today, tie last week. You did not do that. And in fact, I believe that trying to do that impacted your ability to do your real job. And that's my problem. You have an OC on staff. You have a really good play caller on staff. Trust me, you know way more than I do. The reason you're 0-9-1 is not offensive play calling. It's not Anthony Lynn's fault. And that's not me trying to scapegoat a coach that I like. That's just fact. This is where you are. You were talent deficient before all the injuries. And now you have undrafted rookies starting, playing significant minutes in your defensive backfield. So it's really still not about wins and losses. I've referenced the wins. Still, it's about development of players, development of coaches. That's what this process is about. And I call this year a year of evaluation. I still feel the same way. I'm sticking with that concept. I still believe that's what matters, but it extends to the coaching staff. It extends to Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell's got to find a way to look in the mirror and understand who he is, what he does well, and what his job is. And I think right now, as a leader, he's failing. He's trying to do too much. And he could talk about, the weather sucked, so we can only do certain things. I'm sorry. 79 yards in the first half not an NFL game. It's play calling has sucked. I mean, and if I'm the only one, you guys hit me on Twitter at Cornbread Pod. My brother and I, my friend Art, you're running the ball. 3rd and 12 is a draw play or a bubble screen or a tight end screen. That laminated sheet doesn't need to be that long. He only calls 7 or 8 plays. And this is not some Madden guy I'm not even saying I could do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it is too predictable and it does not give them a chance to win. And he would suggest we lost today by a field goal. I would say to you, Baker Mayfield played horribly, probably because he's hurt. He missed a bunch of guys. They have a route where their tight end runs a crossing route. That route was open 7 or 8 times, and he connected maybe 3, but he missed it another 3 or 4. Game should have been wide open, right? If Baker's healthy and the weather's right, that game's not close. And Dan Campbell's going to sit down and watch the film and pat himself on the back and say, I called a game that kept us in it. I played field position football, complementary football, and I punted when we needed to. And we let the defense. Okay. Okay. I'm at the precipice. That's a cool word. I'm glad I used that. Of bailing on Dan Campbell, of being done with Dan Campbell. It's tough. It's tough. I need him to look in the mirror, understand that he's not doing us any favors calling plays, and just give those duties back to Anthony Lynn where they belong, and understand that we have an average quarterback who is actually hurt, and we're playing our backup. We have injuries all across the offensive line. Yeah, our Pro Bowl center's out for the year. Corners. What? I don't need to go through that list again. So it's going to be tough. This idea that somehow you calling plays gives us a better chance to win is nonsense. All right. So I'm going to try and stick to a format instead of going off like I did last week. I want to talk about sort of that evaluation process. I just touched on a little bit of how that should work. I want to talk about something I'm going to call the art of self-destruction. Part of that is paying homage to my friend Art, but it's mostly, I feel like the Lions have taken it to a new level. Ways of screwing yourself over to this new level. And it's about talent, and it's about discipline, and it's about coaching, it's about the other guys are better. It's about a whole bunch of things, but it's almost like an art form. So I want to touch on some of that. And then I'm going to hit a couple things on social media. So against my better judgment, we're going to pull a few and see how it goes. I'm making no promises of polite and behavior or decorum or any of that. It depends on where we go with it, but I'm going to try and be cool. So, all right. So let's start with the evaluation process, because I have to check myself, much like I'm asking Dan Campbell to do. At 09-1, it's hard, right? People have jokes around the nation and cracking jokes about your team, and you're watching these games, and you know there should be 3 or 4 wins, and it's tough. But I'm a fan. I'm not just I'm a cornbread eating, Kool-Aid drinking fan, and there's a bunch of people like me, right? So yeah, it sucks right now. I don't like it because I thought today was winnable. I thought last week was winnable. I thought Minnesota was winnable. I thought Baltimore was certainly winnable. And you watch it, and I know there's those dudes, right? Those dumbass Dans of the world. They're gonna call sports talk radio all week, and the radio guys are gonna just feed them the nonsense and let them say all the stuff. Evaluating players is different, because you can evaluate performance even in a loss. You can go back and look at film, and you can tell guys, look, technique-wise, this is what you're doing wrong. Hey, Alex Anzalone, you're not filling the gaps. You're not reacting quickly enough. And when you come in, you got to come in under control. You can coach that way. You can make players better. Players can get better. Anzalone is in his 3rd or 4th year. I don't know. He can get better. If taught proper technique, he can come in under control, not have to dive and flail and miss tackles. I want to see Levi Onwuzurike. I want to see him getting better. I see like Derek Barnes is running around. I see Austin Bryant. That's a guy who I don't get to see what they call the all 22s. I don't know. I feel like Austin Bryant is getting better, right? And if there was a healthy Trey Flowers and a healthy Romeo Okwara on the field, and you improve the linebacker play, how good can Austin Bryant be? How good is Aleem McNeil going to be, right? I think that the young players are I think Penei Sewell is going to be fine, right? I don't have any problems with Penei Sewell. I never bought the whole sports talk radio RFR crap of, oh, you got to trade Decker. Stupid. I don't buy that. I think the offensive line is going to be good when they're healthy. DeAndre Swift's a superstar. He just happens to play for us, so we won't get the credit of being a superstar because he wears blue and silver. DeAndre Swift's a really, really good player, and he's not even being used as effectively as he could. He should get 15 carries and 6 or 7 pass targets per game. If he got 18 touches a game, he'd be in a Pro Bowl. That's just what it is. But our offense is completely inept right now for a bunch of reasons. One of them, obviously, you know how I feel. But DeAndre, so they're talented players. But when you're thinking about it, it's like, what are you building? What are you building? So the question becomes, is he coaching to the talent level? Is he saying, I don't have a deep threat receiver. I don't have guys that can get open. So we have to run the ball. There's a case that could be made for that. I don't know how you truly evaluate guys if you do that, though, right? My feeling at this point is you can trade Hockenson because you don't use him. TJ Hockenson is a Pro Bowl tight end, and you don't know how to use him. You clearly don't. So you may as well get something while its value's high. I don't want to trade Hockenson. It's probably a smart move because it doesn't seem that you are going to build the offense. The culture you're trying to build, the way you call plays, does not utilize a pass-catching tight end. And there are a bunch of teams in this league who do that, who would love to have Hockenson. So as much as I like him, if that's what you're just going to be a run guy. You're going to run on 3rd and 12. You're going to run on 3rd and 10. You're going to run on 3rd and 7. Oh, okay. Then build a team around that where you just want to be some smash mouth. I want to win games 13-10, 12-9, whatever it is you're trying to do. Today in 2021 in the National Football League in 2021, have fun with that. That's going to be a tough watch for me. That's going to be a tough watch. But if you're just saying, this is how I have to coach right now, because I don't have to take the top off the defense receiver. I don't have a fast Tyreek Hill guy who can exploit a zone defense, find holes in, because other teams scheme open players. Kansas City schemes open guys. The Rams scheme open guys. When we played the Rams, their receivers are, well, when we play anybody, their receivers appear to be wide open. That's scheme. Maybe it's a lack of talent on offense and a lack of talent on defense to cover those things. But it feels like other teams scheme open players so that routes find holes in zones. I don't feel like the Dan Campbell offense as play caller is going to do that. I think he's going to try and line up and punch you in the mouth and just keep punching it in the mouth. Okay. In this league in 2021, you're going to need to be able to move the ball down the field. You're going to have to be able to push the ball down the field. And I'm asking you to do that with Jared Goff or Tim Boyle as your quarterback, and your best receiver is Khalif Raymond, I guess. It's a big ask. I get it. You can't come into a game being one-dimensional, and it's not a secret, and everyone knows. If it's 3rd and 12, they're not throwing. They have enough confidence in the quarterback or the receivers to throw the ball. You cannot be one-dimensional in this league and win. Even if that one dimension is DeAndre Swift, who's very, very good, you need to have another dimension. And he was the only reason they were in it today, right? Hawkinson's a non-factor. I think he had one big catch. But to a degree, you are coaching out your talent. You are making TJ Hockenson a non-factor. This guy was in the Pro Bowl. This guy's a Pro Bowl tight end, and you've made him a non-factor in your offense through your play calling. And I get it. You don't have strength in the wide receiver room. No disrespect to the guys in the room. You don't love your quarterback room. I get it. You don't love your secondary, so you try and possess the ball and limit the touches of the other team, ugly up the game. Throw in the injuries, and I get it. There's a bunch of holes. But that laminated sheet could be a 3x5 index card because you call the same crap. You won't call half the plays on that sheet. You call screen plays, you call runs, and cool. I don't know how you win in this league if you either absolutely refuse to throw the football down the field or you don't trust your talent enough to believe you can throw the football down the field. That's going to be tough. But in an evaluation process, you make it difficult for someone like me, who it's not my job. It's just a hobby. It's what I want to do. It's what I like to talk about. If you do that, you make it difficult to evaluate. So then I want to understand decisions you make in the fall, in the summer. I'm sorry. If you make a decision in the summer to not sign a receiver who's available, there are people who are saying sign Odell Beckham. I'm not an Odell Beckham guy. No, I shouldn't say that. I am not a fan of Odell Beckham's contract. That's what I'll say. He wasn't going to help us win a bunch of games, and he would hurt our flexibility as it relates to the cap. So I was never on board with that transaction. But there are people who's like, you have nobody in the wide receiver room. He's there, go get him. He wasn't going to sign here. You could have claimed him, but then you would have had to eat that contract. And that, as a business decision, is a bad idea. You have to play Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? And who knows how Quintez Cephas would have developed had he not gotten hurt. The injuries are a big deal. I think that the evaluation process is difficult. It's difficult when everybody's healthy. Now, can't evaluate Jeff Kuder. Can't evaluate Melvin Fonwell. He's not playing, right? Can't evaluate Quintez Cephas. So you don't know, and that's tough. But you should know what the coach is. And we're still evaluating the coach. So, yeah. So this is still a year of evaluation. I still believe that. I still feel that. Struggling with our head coach right now. No. I'm struggling with our offensive coordinator, who happens to be the same guy. The head coach did some things I didn't love, but that's a part of learning as well. I don't understand why you run a draw play on 3rd and 12 with 3 minutes left in the game. You're down 3 because you have just decided we're not going to try and get this first down. We're going to give you the ball back and try and stop you on defense. That didn't work. They ran a handful of plays and kneeled. I don't know if you just gave up. I don't know if something in you truly believed our defense is going to stop Nick Chubb. I'm not sure what objective evidence you had in the previous 3.5 quarters of the game that led you to believe you could punt the ball, stop the Browns from getting 2 first downs and kneeling. But it didn't work. And that's a play where, do you not have enough confidence in your talent? Do you simply know I don't have the talent to get 12 yards? So I'm just going to hand the ball to my best player and hope he makes magic happen. And he could have. And maybe that's your best option and I'm missing something. But I don't think you ever considered throwing the ball. Is there not a play on that laminated sheet that has a 15-yard in route, crossing routes, a rub route, whatever? Everybody else has those. I saw Jarvis Landry getting open. I saw their tight ends getting open on crossing routes multiple times. Are those plays not on the sheet, or do you just not call them, Dan Campbell? And I know there are those of you who probably think I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that. I don't get on here because I want to say I'm right. I don't care about that. I think here's what I see. And I saw horrible offensive play calling today. I saw offensive play calling that did not give them the chance to win the game. Outside of a great play by DeAndre Swift, offense was horrible today. They got a field goal from a short field and a great 60-yard run by DeAndre Swift. Don't get it twisted. Don't act like the offense was prolific today. It was not. You take out Swift, period, and it's atrocious. Take out his big run, and it's just okay. So while Dan Campbell was patting himself on the back and probably in the press conference saying, we had a chance to win today. I called a good game because we had a chance to win. I don't know that you ever really had a chance to win. I don't know that your play calling had any input into you potentially winning. It is something to note. I'm not saying it's the end all be all. The end all be all is we don't have enough talent. A bunch of our talented guys are injured, and this league requires you to be balanced. There's a lot of factors going into it. 0-9-1 sucks. I don't like it. I don't think they have to be 0-9-1. I think they've left minimum 3 wins on the table. And it's mostly coaching. No, not mostly. There's a lot of factors. All right. So I got to talk about self-destruction, because a lot of what Art and I talk about during the game is, wait, what? We did what? And so I always vowed I would never do that thing where I will just jot down plays and go, hey, this play, that was horrible. But self-destruction is a tough thing, right? I talked earlier about leaving a job or ending a relationship and comparing it to rooting for a team. And that moment that comes where you go, all right, I can't do this. Some degree of that has to be self-evaluation. You have to consider what part you played. How much of this was my fault? What did the things that I did? Because you can get to that point, look back and go, wait a minute, I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently. And if I could go back, I would, but I can't. So now I'm just not going to do it that way anymore. That's my point about Dan Campbell having a press conference tomorrow and say, play calling isn't really the problem. I'm going to let Anthony Lynn call plays again. And to a degree in the game, that is guys doing dumb stuff. And when they go back and they watch this, I got a list. I'm going to be honest. I was jotting them down. I have a list. Right? And when they go back and see how much of this was their own fault, that's the tough part. Like I said, whether it's job or relationship or whatever, when you do that evaluation, you go, oh man, yeah, some of this is on me. Some of this is on, like, the jumping off sides, someone, and I'm stealing it. That's the dumbest penalty in it. You can see the ball. No, actually it's lining up in the neutral zone. But it's just jumping off sides is just destructive. You're just giving away yards. And other teams do it too. But the Lions have this whole creative way. This creative stuff that like you never heard of. Like what? Like there's a play, it was a third down play. I want to say it's 3rd and 6 or 7. Alim McNeil makes a great play at the line, and he's got Chubb for a 3-yard loss. He's got his hand on his jersey, right? You got to make that play. You got to make that play and get off the field. He doesn't. Lets him go, misses the tackle. Chubb cuts back, 13-yard gain, first down. Should have been a punt. Now it's 13-yard gain and first down, right? And even when they had the ball, moving the ball, they hit St. Brown on a bubble screen. He gets down to the 8-yard line. Flag on the play. There's a flag on the play. Offensive pass interference on Josh Reynolds. First game as a Lion. Welcome to the team. Now it's 1st and 20 at the 30-yard line instead of 1st and goal at the 8. 2 unsuccessful running plays later, it's 3rd and 12. Boyle throws an interception. If not for the OPI, it's 1st and goal at the 8. He's not calling a pass play there. You're getting 3 runs and a field goal or 3 runs and a touchdown. But you never have to throw the ball. So the interception never happens. Little things. And offensive pass interference. And that is technique. That is where are you on the field? What are you doing? What are you doing? Tracy Walker had a defensive holding. Should have never happened. Should have never happened. It was a chintzy call, by the way, but I'm not doing the ref thing. Automatic first down. In case you don't know, defensive holding is a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. And it's like he didn't have to do it. He had pretty decent coverage. Why did he grab the jersey? I don't know. It was 7-0, middle of the second. They had a chance to get off the field on 3rd and 13. There is this thing Art and I talk about where they rush 3. Now, there's 11 men on the team, for those of you who, for some reason, may not know this. So you're dropping 8 men back into coverage, and there's only 5 eligible receivers on a given play. Let me help you with that. I have 8 guys defending 5 because I'm only rushing 3, which means 2 things. 1, not going to get any pressure on the quarterback because those 3 guys are being blocked by 5 guys. That's where it balances out. They're not going to get to the quarterback. When you rush 3, you are essentially saying, I am not trying to get pressure on your quarterback. I don't care about getting pressure on your quarterback because I got 8 guys back there to cover, so nobody's going to be open. Except, yeah, of course they got it. Of course they converted it. Because rushing 3 and dropping 8 never works. Never works. It's a conservative mentality. It is trying not to lose, and it never works because it's a zone concept, and there's a hole in the zone, and our opponents always find the hole in the zone. I don't never understand why you rush 3. They had a 4th and 3 play where we make the play, and they call Amani Oruwariye for a hand to the face. Ridiculous call. Happened. At the snap of the ball, his hand went up, caught the guy's helmet, whatever. And it did not obstruct the guy, didn't bother the guy. The guy wasn't, I don't even think he was the intended receiver. And the overthrow was it didn't matter. But guess what hands to the face is? Automatic first down. Had nothing to do with the play. It's a disciplined, stupid mistake. I think they got lucky and the Browns missed a field goal. But he got a 3rd and 5 later where they had 3 first downs that they got on Lions penalties. And he had a pass interference. Amani has the ability to frustrate me so much. I don't even understand why I'm so bothered by it, but he frustrates me so much. Pass interferences and holdings by Amani, I don't understand. So we had a 3rd and 5, and that was the third penalty. That other penalty I talked about on Tracy Walker might have been on that drive. Ultimately, they scored on the next play, but they beat themselves through a lack of discipline. Will Harris bit down on the Chubb touchdown, meaning he's playing outside. He can keep contained. There's a lineman in front of him. So if they hand the ball off or do something going the other way, that guy can chase or bite down. Harris has to see Chubb coming out of the backfield and cover him, and he doesn't. He bites down on the play. Chubb's the easiest touchdown I've ever seen. But the cake taker, yeah, the one that takes the cake. No, I'm going with cake taker. The cake taker is between the 3rd and 4th quarters. Lions have the ball, right? It's 13-10. They got the ball at the 40-ish of Cleveland, 43-ish. Come back from the commercial break. Now the Lions are backed up in their own territory, and the marker says 1st and 25. Why is it? Apparently, Jonah Jackson decided to make a crack about somebody's mother and got a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So now your drive starts 1st and 25 instead of 1st and 10. 1st and 10 at their 40, they're 44, 43. No, you're in your own territory, 1st and 25. Do I need to tell you how that drive ended? You killed that drive before it started. That is just nonsense. That is nonsense. I don't even know the story yet. I'm not sure I want to know the story. At the end of the day, you had the ball 10, 12, 15 yards away from a game-tying field goal, and you took a crack at somebody's mom and essentially killed the drive? Because 1st and 25 is not easy. Can it be done? Of course it can be done. You know what's a lot easier? 1st and 10. Because you know what you can do at 1st and 10? You can run. You can get above Swift, who's your best player, playing the best. But no, Jonah Jackson decides this is the moment he needs to make a crack about somebody's mother and absolutely kill the drive. That's the dumb shit that costs you games. That's the dumb stuff that losers do. That's discipline. And I don't know what the ramifications are from that. What are the consequences? When he goes to practice and his position coach or his OC or his head coach sit down with him and say, what the blue hell were you thinking? We're in a 3-point game and we have the ball. And what were you thinking? What did you need to accomplish? No matter what that guy said to you, no matter what that guy's done all day long, you are costing your team. All of these things are just self-destructive things that cost them games. And I don't know if that's talent. I think part of it's talent. Guys commit holding penalties because they suck and they can't block or they can't cover. Guys commit pass interference because they get beat because they're not good enough. I don't know. So I think there's a degree of these that are talent, but there's also a degree of these that are just stupid and undisciplined. How do you do that? Are you drafting stupid, undisciplined players? Are you not coaching discipline in? There's probably a degree of discipline comes from coaching. I don't know. I actually don't know. But when I see stuff like, 15 yards for what? Because they didn't explain it on TV. Art had to text me after the game and tell me what the penalty was about. They just came back from the commercial to start the 4th quarter, and the thing said 1st and 25. And they said unsportsmanlike conduct number 73. So I'm like, okay, maybe they were in a scrum and he kind of took a punch. That's an aggression penalty. I don't actually mind those. You should keep control, but I get it. You took a shot at somebody's mom on a football field? That makes sense to you? And you killed the drive, potentially costing your team a chance to win the game? What the hell is wrong with you? I don't get it. The level that they have taken self-destruction to is amazing. All right, enough of that. I want to hit a couple of social media things and then get up out of here. I don't always like to do this, and it might not be the best idea. But I'm gonna show some discipline, no matter what. All right, so let's see what we got. What do you send me up? Jim. Yeah, so Jim's is basically this team does not have enough talent to win a game this year. Get ready for 0-16-1. I can't say he's wrong. I don't believe he's right. I think Thursday is winnable. I think Goff is going to play, and I don't think the Bears are that good. I think they got somebody the day after Christmas. I think it's Atlanta. Atlanta, whenever they are, they're winnable. I don't think Denver's that great. The game's in Denver, so I don't know, but it's winnable. Like the Bears on Thanksgiving, Atlanta at home. Thanksgiving will be a sweet little story. Get their first win on Thanksgiving Day kind of thing. There's winnable games there, right? So I think there's, and Green Bay won't have anything to play for week 18. So look forward to some starters sitting. There's 4 more winnable games. And does it matter if they win 4 games, 2 games, or 1 game? Probably not. I think it matters if they don't win any games. But I honestly believe, particularly if Dan Campbell gives the play calling duties back to Anthony Lynn. Sorry, Chuck, super redundant. I can't get over it. I think there's still winnable games because I just did a whole segment about self-destruction. Right? If they play, I don't know if there's a game this year they've played to their capability. I would say they played pretty well against Baltimore, but Baltimore helped. I don't know. I think there's winnable games still on the schedule. I get Jim's point. I understand what he's saying. Yeah, but I don't think they're going to go 16-1. So I'm going to disagree with that. All right, let's see. This one is to our Twitter feed. Cool. Sandy, I don't know if it's a guy or a lady, but Sandy says, you sound like you want to fire Dan Campbell right now. And Sandy doesn't agree. I don't think you should be so harsh. You sound like you want to fire Dan Campbell right now. I don't. And I don't disagree with you. I probably sounded that way. What I'm really saying, and Chuck's just going to love all this repetitiveness, I'm going to be clear, though, and I'll keep it short. I don't need to beat the dead horse. I believe that coaches can develop too. And I think sometimes coaches make bad decisions, and a mark of real leadership is to acknowledge that bad decision and come back and rectify it. Don't fool yourself into believing that you, Dan Campbell, are giving them a chance to win the game with your play calling. So I'll leave it at that. I would be really impressed. And I use the relationship thing. Dan Campbell and I aren't necessarily done. We're on a break, maybe. We're not in a good place. Dan Campbell needs to look in the mirror and understand Dan Campbell's contribution to the breakdown in this relationship. And if Dan Campbell will acknowledge that and rectify it, we can be happy again. That's so absurd. Okay, Chuck, I'm done bashing Dan Campbell. All right, one more. Oh, no. Okay, so Garrett. Oh, man, his name might as well be Dan. Garrett seems to think that Sheila has fostered a culture of mediocrity. This will continue, say it with me, everyone, until she sells the team. I should just pass on that one and do another one, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm not going off. I'm not letting this guy have any of my emotions. Not today. I don't have extra emotions to spare on Garrett. I will do a very short version of this. I do not disagree with a single thing Sheila Fordham has done since the day she fired Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. I believe everything she said, and if you really looked at her decisions, how she's done it, suggests this is a process. And we should not have been expecting quick results. We should not have been expecting immediate success. We should have expected a difficult process early that would start to show benefits and ultimately be sustainable. We are still just at the very beginning of that. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, the dumbass Dan and forward sell the team. Not today. I don't have extra emotions to spare on that crap. So Sheila's fine. Brad Holmes is fine. Brad Holmes has work to do. And nobody knows that more than Brad Holmes. There are talent deficiencies all over this roster. Dan Campbell has to get better as a head coach. And by that, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I think there's work to do. We all know there's work to do. I think there's some young players on this team that are going to get better. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike can get better. I think when Okudah and Melifonwu will get back, they're probably going to be your starting corners. I would like help in the secondary. I would like help at safety and corner. I don't think you can ever have enough good offensive linemen, and obviously they need a difference maker at wide receiver, not to mention quarterback. There's a lot of holes, right? How do you do it? You do it with there's only, 3 ways. There's trade, there's free agency, and there's draft. And we're still in the season. Do I want to eat up 5-6 minutes giving you my strategy on that? Or do I save that for later? No, I'll give you the quick version. Their cap situation is going to get healthier. Stafford's numbers will not hurt the cap as much next year. They will have a high draft pick of their own, and they will have a Rams pick. Then they will have their own high second round pick. They will be able to acquire, if they want, 3 of the best 32, 33 players. So you're going to add 3 really good players there. Not to mention what you can do third, 4th, 5th round, right? If you had quality players there, but you can add 3 difference makers with 3 of the top 30-something picks. With Stafford's money, you should be able to add 2 really good free agents. So if I tell you we're going to add 5 good contributing players and then some depth guys later in the draft, that's where you should be year 2. If I tell you those 5 players are a difference maker at receiver, a difference maker at corner, a really good safety, experience or not, help at linebacker, and another pass rusher, and you're going to live with Goff for another year, sure, fine. And then the following year, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to add a couple guys in free agency, and you're going to add 3 really good draft picks, one of which somewhere in that process of the 10 players I just talked about, you're going to add to your team in the next 2 years. One of them's got to be a quarterback. One of them's got to be a good quarterback. So going forward to Sheila has set a process in place, Garrett, that you either don't agree with or you don't understand. I don't really care which one it is. I can only tell you how I feel about it. I feel that it's a process that we have known all along was going to take time, and it is going to take time, and we are just in the painful part of that. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. I mean, I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and everybody look out for each other, take care of each other, respect each other. This is easy. I just have a new saying: treat people like they're a fan of your team. And if you're a fan of the Lions and you were randomly somewhere and you saw a guy in a Lions shirt, you'd immediately like him. You wouldn't have to know him. You wouldn't know nothing about him. You would have positive feelings for him. So just walk around through life treating people like they're wearing a shirt of your favorite team. I'm not giving life advice. It's just my thought. It can be better that way. So I don't know if I'm going to do the podcast on Thursday. Logistics might not make that happen. So I'm going to say look for something Friday. Friday late morning-ish, I'll drop something because I don't know that the logistics of my Thanksgiving day are going to let me find the right timing to drop it right after the game. So, it'll still be fresh. It'll be fresh enough. Hopefully it'll be the first win. I wouldn't be surprised. That is as much a statement about the Bears as it is about the Lions. But more than that, enjoy your family, enjoy the short work week, enjoy the turkey. And yeah, hopefully we get to enjoy the game. But I hope you enjoy the podcast. And I really do. If you do and you like it, I take the thumbs up. You can go on the Twitter feed and say positive stuff. You can go on YouTube and like the channel. You can go on the Facebook page and comment or thumbs up. It all helps. I like doing it. Hopefully you like listening. And hopefully one day they'll give us a win. We can talk about a win. But we will see you next week. Again, enjoy the holidays. Everybody stay safe and have a good one.